Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Engine House. I am your host, Gandy Dancer, and of course, you can see Shop Kitty just peeking around the corner here. she'll be she'll be up here in my lap in a minute. Few things here. You saw what these look like before. These are going to be painted as brick. And well, hi, Shop Kitty. Don't get up there. Don't get up there. You'll hurt stuff. And this down here will be painted to look like cement, as well as the top, which if I can get this off of here, there we are. Okay. We're going to make this look like brick on these. That'll happen later on. My Dremel tool of 30 plus years bit the dust on me the other day, so I stopped working in the basement. I came really close to getting the first round of track done. And some of the track, I know Lionel had short pieces here and there, and some of the pieces I need, I was having to cut full sections to make the piece I wanted fit. And that was it. The piece that grabs the bit just came apart, and there's no, that tool's over 30 years old. I've had that thing for a long time. So I have another one. Here it is here. Brand new. Let's hope that one lasts as long. Let's hope I last that long. So I'll be working on track again. I'll be working on buildings. What I was going to do today, just because, for starters, the town manager snagged me the other day when I went in to pay the property taxes and whatnot, and wants me to do another presentation on model railroading in April, and wants me to do something different than the last one I did. So I'll be putting together a program, another PowerPoint presentation, and doing that here in town. And from what I understand, I'm not 100% sure. It's with a co-op with another town that's an hour away, so the stuff can be shared via video online, maybe over the counter. I don't know how it works. They're setting this stuff up. It's a community project for not just people like me who do model railroading to get people involved, but for, if you're a painter or a writer. I happen to be a writer, and my wife crochets. If you're a crocheter and want to do something, you can do this, and it'll be shared throughout the county. From my understanding, I'm not 100% sure. A lot of stuff he was telling me, I wasn't quite sure of what we were doing, but he did ask me to do another presentation, so I will be putting something together here soon. Anyway, in the meantime, when I first started back into model railroading, we were still living out west, and I was going to do HO. And I decided I had bought some HO stuff, bought some rolling stock, bought some, locomotives, bought some buildings and whatnot. And then, of course, as the story goes, my lovely wife gave me her dad's post-war Lionel, and I fell down that rabbit hole, and I absolutely love it. So I decided to get away from HO altogether. Lionel does take up more room than HO. I could probably do a lot more in the basement with HO than I can do with Lionel, but I honestly like it. And one of the things I'm also finding with my age and my disability, the smaller stuff is getting harder to work on. So the bigger it is, the easier sometimes it is for me to deal with. But I had done some of this stuff here. This is some of the stuff I kept. A lot of it I got rid of, and I kept these for reasons. It'll become clear in a moment. Let me remove Shop Kitty. This is a kit. I'm sure some of you who've seen the old HO, you might be familiar with this. It was a blacksmith shop, or it's supposed to be. I did a little detailing inside there. I went a little carried away with it. This part of the roof, I originally designed it so the roof would come off, part of the roof, or all of the roof. I honestly don't remember how I had it down there. I will be repairing this to make sure that you can take the roof off. But this was one of my first builds. I really had a lot of fun doing this. And I really enjoyed it. This is a lot of kit. I don't even remember who made this kit. I know a lot of manufacturers made this kit. I've seen it around in a lot of different places. So that was one of my first ones. I gave that a try, and then I decided to do a little kit bashing. And again, the move across country was a little hard on some of these. I'm gonna fix these up again as time, as if I don't have enough projects to do, right? And summer's coming. I'll be stopping a lot of the model railroad stuff. The bathroom has to be finished. It is usable, but it needs to be finished. We're not going to live like that for long. And there's a few other projects that need to get done before the following winter. So I'll be slowing down on the model railroading stuff here in a couple of months and going more towards getting this other stuff done and ready to go. And so this is kind of on the list of things that are going to happen, that are going to get done one way or the other over time. This was a kit bash that I had. This was actually, these two kits here were Gruesome Casket Company. Somebody had a real sense of humor back in the 70s and the 60s. Gruesome Casket, really? I took two kits and I made them, as you can see, Gruesome Cannery. My original intention, of course, was to, and of course it's a seaside. You can see here the piers and the bollards. I need to fix this crane here. This one, it's kind of, again, it's been hard. The move has been hard. The smokestack came off the back here. I had it set here. Here's the back side. This building was one I got from somewhere. I don't remember where I picked it up. It's a metal building. And so I rusted it up and made it look like the original old cannery, and now it's just storage. And my original goal was to have some caskets in here. Okay, so Gruesome Cannery, you figure that one out. I had, and then there was also supposed to be, there's some stuff here that says beware of lobster and whatnot. Some signs here. One says just beware. The other one says beware of lobster. There was going to be a lobster claw sticking out this door, big one. And there were going to be some people wandering around here. I am going to restore this, and I'm going to put it in something to keep it preserved, and that'll be happening sometime here in the near future, I hope. And among everything else I'm doing, this one is really delicate and it needs a lot of work. This is my first scratch build. It's a Lobster Shack, and again, the move was very hard on it. This white on these was supposed to be, and it was something, I'll get a little closer look at that. There you go. Those are supposed to be barnacles. It was something Jason Jensen did on Jason Jensen trains with baking soda and salt, I believe, and you brush it on there, and it looks like barnacles. And a lot of it, of course, over the time is moving and it's been brushed off. I'm going to have to redo it. But first, I have to redo a lot of the stuff here that's damaged. This is one of my first scratch builds. I was very happy with it. It came out really nice. You can see the roof is coming up there. I need to glue that down. Really happy with the way this one turned out. And I will be repairing that along with the German house that's sitting over here still. I intend to enclose that in a plexiglass box of some sort. I will probably do the same with these. There are three smaller buildings here. The scratch build Lobster Shack, the blacksmith shop, and then there's this one here that was a hardware store, and it's all the back here came unglued, and there's a guy that sits here on the back. I have him right here. This little guy, one of the workers. This is It's Luke's Lumber and Hardware. And this is, here we are. Get that right up there. And it was it was a general store, I think. And there's an old guy sitting on the porch there. You can see him. There's some paint cans and whatnot here. This was one of the ones I did a while back. And you can see some of the shingles are lifted. It's a little, I followed some of Jason Jensen's stuff that he does on his to make this look a little less like plastic and a little more like a wood building would look. And I think it turned out pretty good, honestly. So this is stuff that I'm going to be restoring, and they'll be enclosed in some kind of a container of some kind and put somewhere for my son and my grandson. Now I have a couple of other things. I got an early birthday present. A friend of mine saw this stuff here. They've got a few items here. We'll be taking it down. Friend of mine saw this, thought of me, sent it to me. Real great gal. I used to, whoops, I forgot the wheels coming off of that. The wheels on the bus came off. One of these is broken, and one of the wheels sets it's a good thing it didn't damage anything. One of the parts of the axle broke off. I'm going to try to JB weld it, but even if I don't, these are not going to be moving. Here's the locomotive and the tender. I'll set these back up here. Here is 2 passenger cars right here. And here is an observation car. All cast iron. I'm really not sure how old these are. I do know they make reproductions, and it doesn't matter. She saw these somewhere and thought of me and grabbed them, mailed them to me for my birthday. But this is the one that I really like. This is from Bridge and Trestle Handbook for Model Railroaders. Okay, this she works in a school out in the Midwest, and the library was getting rid of some of their older books, and she snapped this up. This was printed in 1958. Okay, it is really, really nice. It's got a lot of great information in it, and if you're into stuff, I mean, there is a plethora of information out here for model railroaders. A lot of this deals with HO scale, but the same principles apply to any scale, any scale you want to do. So you can do just about anything. Here's covered bridges. There's culverts. There's trestles. There's there's a little bit of everything in this book, and I found it quite fascinating. And the fact that she thought of me and grabbed this book and mailed it to me, it's an early birthday present, and I really appreciate it. It goes up here with my collection. But like I was saying, there is a plethora of books on model railroading, different eras, different times. That was 58. I have a color Treasury of model trains right here. I've had this since probably 15, maybe 14, 15. This has a lot of mostly European stuff in it. If you can see by the locomotives, a lot of European locomotives and European stuff. This is very old. I don't even remember when this was printed. My parents got this for me a long time ago. There's not really a lot of plans or anything in it, but this was 1972, so it's been around a little while as well. There's just a lot of nice pictures in there, give you some ideas what is what. And again, a lot of European freight cars. This is probably what made me fall in love with a lot of the European stuff, was having this book. I really, really started to enjoy a lot of the uniqueness of the European rolling stock and even the locomotives over a lot of the U.S. stuff. But you have model railroaders. I have model railroading magazines going back into the 1960s. I have a ton of stuff here that goes. I have a couple other books here that go about. I should have had them right handy. I don't for whatever reason. Let's see. Oh, here we are. If you want to scratch build kit bashing, you can find this guy online. Try to get this out of the glare here of the there's 2 books he has, and I have one of them, and I have this one. I think he has 2 books out, but this tells you how to take some of your basic kits, HO kits, that he will show you step by step how to kit bash. And again, this is HO. A lot of, this was HO is again the most popular right now. It has been for decades, but the same principles you can apply to any scale, any gauge. I had gotten this again when I was doing HO to learn how to do some kit bashing on different kits, and he has one in here. It's the house, and it is, he can make 3 different houses out of one house kit, and he tells you step by each how to do it. Here's the houses. So there is a lot of information out there, and there is a lot of different things you can do for scratch building and for just kit bashing. This was my first attempt, and I kind of enjoyed it. There are some mistakes here. There are some stuff I wish I had done differently, but I'm happy with it overall, and it's going to stay just the way it is. I'm going to fix what I can, and maybe add some figures to it little by little over time. And this of course was set on the roof, and it was supposed to be here doing something. I forgot exactly what maybe it was over here. I don't remember. But moving across the country was rather hard on these, and they show it. But I am going to be fixing this up and fixing all of these, and they will be enclosed in something that is, this one actually isn't glued down. And you can see some of the detail work I've done. And of course, this is actually just a bendy straw, or a straw I cut and made into the original chimney. And I put it down. I did not secure these for whatever reason, because I had intended, maybe this isn't even glued down, but I had intended to glue them in place when I was finished. And again, I switched to O, and then these got kind of packed up and moved across the country. And I've had them down just sitting around doing nothing, and they're getting a little dusty and a little damaged, and I don't want that to happen. So anyway, kind of a short video here. I will be getting back down on the layout now that I have my new Dremel. I can cut the tracks that I need, cut what I need, do what I need to do. I also have to, these will get painted and to look like brick. I'll be showing you how to do that. I'm going to do a couple. I've got a couple that a technique I want to try, and then I'm going to do a couple and see how it comes out, and then I'll shoot a video on doing it so that you can see how to do it. And then I'll be taping that up and painting this section to look like cement. This section here and this section here will look like cement. There'll be a border here and a border here when it goes onto the building. Matter of fact, here's where we're at on this right now, okay? This will be, and apparently I need to re-glue that. Sometimes that happens. This will be right here over this. There'll be probably another one back here on the back, or this side here is going to be where the this side's going to be where the freight door is. So there could be one going here, maybe on the end. I used all 4 of the sides of this apartment building, and and I also have, when I'm done with the roof, I have a roof access that's going to go up here somewhere, and I have a few other things that's going to go on it. And I need to find other detail parts, roof ACs, duct work for ducts on the side, the duct work on the side of a building, things of that nature. I'd love to have a 3D printer. It would be nice to have, but I'm not sure how many things can you print off of the thing. I could probably do a lot of trash cans, a lot of electrical panel boxes for the side, and gas meters, maybe a few dumpsters, and some figures probably, but I don't know. We'll see. I thought about a resin printer, setting one up in here in front of the window, but I'm a little concerned about the smell. I don't want to put it in the basement unless it's summer. I can, maybe when the temperature is decent, I can print down there where the smell isn't going to be up here, making us nauseous. A lot of variables. A lot of things I'm finding online for O scale. I guess you can scale it up. Somebody was telling me if it's HO scale, you can scale it up. So if I do decide to get one, I can scale up what I need for duct work and roof ducting and chimneys and things of that nature to put on these buildings as I go. Also, I have a Hansel and Gretel, the furnace building. The window fell out, and I got to put that back in. So I've taken part of the roof off. That's still in the basement. That's kind of a placeholder right now where it's going to sit, and this building will go down there when I'm done laying the first initial track, so I know where the siding's going to go. I'm going to have one siding going through all the industries. I don't have the room to do multiple sidings for multiple industries, sadly. So it's going to be just one down the center of however many industries I have. And it also has to clear the passenger rail. The freight rail is going to be my outside loop. Passenger rail is going to be the inside loop. So these buildings have to be able to clear the passenger line. So this will go back down once I get a little further along, and it will be once I re-glue that. So I'll be getting back to work on some of this stuff. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button, leave a comment. If you have any comments on this stuff here, or, I'll be shooting a video on painting these here soon, and doing a little more work on this scratch build. And as typical, I'll be doing some more on the German house. You can see the house is actually, well, maybe you can't. You can see the top of it sitting right over here behind this chair. I moved it out of the way. I've got so much stuff in here. I need to, I'll be glad when I can take the rolling stock and the locomotives back down and put them in the basement. The rest of them are sitting in a tote in the shed. And then I can clean this work area off and have a little more room. It's been a couple of days since I shot the last video, and I got to thinking while I was doing some of this stuff with this house here, as you can see, I'm still working on this a little bit, and I'm going to be cleaning it up in a few days. But it dawned on me, this person who built this was almost 80 years ago. This was built using whatever the person had on hand. I firmly believe, was looking at this and looking at the wood that was used and the things used, that the person used whatever they had on hand after the war. Okay, but this was a scratch build. Our hobby is not all that different if you think about it. We use materials we have on hand. Okay? Honestly, I do this, like I said, on a budget. This is what I have. I can't, I can go out and buy stuff, but it's on a fixed income. It's rough to buy. I have to plan what I want and then make a decision to buy. That person in this time frame, this person is probably, this was 1940s. This person's long gone. That person had to make a similar decision. Do you use what you have on hand because nothing else is available and try to make a little money, or in the case of the black market, so you can buy food to feed your family? We don't have to worry about things like that, but you often wonder, at least I do, being a minor historian, some of our buildings that people scratch build out of wood, excuse me, out of whatever they have on hand. What will people say 80 years from now? What will they look at? Will they be amazed at the workmanship, the craftsmanship? We hope so, right? We tell a story whenever we build something. We tell a story, whether it's model railroading, whether it's a guy in the 1940s, it's a story. I'm going to bring the base up here. Here we go. Here is the base right here. There's a little figure here. It's kind of two-dimensional. It's cut out of wood. There's a picnic table here. The fence, of course. The grounds. Okay. There's a couple of trees made out of pine cones. One goes here, and for the life of me, I can't remember where the other one goes. It'll probably go right here. I can move things around because I don't know. Some of the stuff was gone when I got the thing, and so I'm doing the best I can. But the person told a story with that. I have some other things to show you here. I'm going to move this out of the way back here behind me so it's not getting damaged. There we are. I'm currently working on the chimney right now. There's a lot of very old glue. Glue has come a long way in 80 years, and this stuff has to come off. I have my brand new Dremel. I'm going to be taking a sanding disc and just hitting some of this very lightly to knock the old glue off so the new stuff stays. But in the meantime, look, we have a woodcutter. You can see his axe. These were so dirty. Honestly, I just got done soaking these in some soapy water and a light brush and scrubbing the dirt off. I did not know he had an axe. I did not know what it was. These guys were filthy. He's a woodcutter. There's a wood pile seen here. He'll go near that. I think this guy might be a vicar, or I don't know. It's hard to say what he is. I don't know where he was on the scene because, again, by the time I got it, most of the people were knocked off and they came to me in a little box. We have this young lady here. She's holding a handful of wheat and she has a sickle there. She was by the ox cart that's over there you saw in the scene. She stood by that. I actually took her off because I wanted to clean her up. She was filthy. She was one of the few figures that was still glued down. We have a little Scotty dog. I'm going to clean him up. I don't know this. I missed it when I was going through the bag of stuff. And we have a cat here made out of a little piece of wood. I'm going to gently clean the cat up. This was glued to the side of the house, so it's going to go back there again. We have a bird, and of course, when my wife saw this yesterday, she said, that bird is way out of scale. Well, it is. It sat on the roof, and that's where it's going to go back. And of course, these are figures. You can see the backs of these figures. They're not finished. None of them are finished on the back. But these figures, I have another one here. This young lady's missing her head. I have the head here. I'm going to glue it on in a minute. We have a couple of other young ladies here. And again, the backs are not finished. You can see the holes in them. These are all porcelain, hand painted, I'm sure. We have a little traveler. I don't know. He's got a bag over his shoulder. His hat needs a bit of touch up. I'll touch that up with some black. And again, the person that did this scene built this diorama, for lack of I mean, that's what it is, right? We know what a diorama is. That's what this is. Was telling a story. What the story was, we don't know. Okay. Maybe a simpler time, a simpler life, because they had just come out of God knows how many years of war. And the country was devastated. We don't know. But we do something very similar in our modeling. We tell a story. This is going to be a nod to my grandfather, who I never knew. Green Pastures Dairy. He was a dairyman. I have other buildings that will be going on my layout that will be a nod to somebody in the past. And all of my buildings, of course, will not be made out of cardboard, but it's what I can afford. But the thing is the point I'm trying to make is we tell a story. We tell a story when we do something like this and put together a scene. We set it on our layout. And if it's wood, we can hope that someday somebody will see it 80 years from now. The plastic, the kit bashing and the scratch built I put up on the very top shelf there, my fishing shack. Will somebody see that 80 years from now? What will they think? What story was I telling with that? So it's something to think about. We are modelers, we are builders, we build a world. And it's when you think about it, whether you're modeling a rail line, a specific line, or in my case, mine is all just fantasy. It comes right out of my head from my writing and whatnot. It comes out of other, things I've seen, things I've written about, or things I've done. As for, a nod to, there's Castaway, Maine, a nod to Castine, where I grew up part of my life before moving to the White Mountains in New Hampshire. And of course, the dragon over here, dragons. So, but we tell a story. We build a world, and we try to populate that world as it suits us. What we're trying to tell. What are we trying to do? What are we trying to tell? There's more to this than just running trains, okay? Granted, I like trains. I worked for Wolfboro Railroad when I was 14. I love steam engines. I love the world of steam and the older stuff. But I get more of an enjoyment, honestly, out of building the buildings than I do running the trains. I'll finish the track. I will do what I need to do to build the railroad, and I'll run some. My grandson loves to see them. But in the meantime, I also know I'm building a world. It is something to think about when you're modeling. When you're doing your models, when you're building your buildings, you put your effort into it, because you never know. 80 years from now, somebody may look at that and go, what were they thinking? What was on their mind? Who was this person? Something to think about. It's not just all modeling and fun and games here. I try to encourage people to look stuff up and check it out. That's what I'm here for. The hobby is supposed to be fun, but it also should make you think. Think long term. It's always fun. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video. I'm going to get back to work. I'm going to put these guys up away so they're not getting damaged. I'm going to go ahead and take care of this. And somebody had glued on something else on this side. At one time, I took a piece off of here that was it wasn't the right piece. It did not match this at all. It was just a piece of wood going up. I'm going to cut a piece of basswood and make it look like that and glue it on. But I have to get all of this old glue off first. This I could do with a X-Acto knife. I could do with... But this stuff down here on the bottom, my God, if you look at how thick that is not something that's going to come off easy with a knife. I could dull a few knife blades taking that off. So I'll hit it real quick with a sanding disc just to knock the bulk of it off of there, and then I can glue it on. I'm not quite at that stage yet, but I'm waiting for some of this paint to dry, and then I can get going on it again. Anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, leave me a comment what you think. Do you think about the future? Do you just model and that's it? Or do you think about it? It's just something to think about, you know? Anyway, bye for now.